Some call me nature. Others call me Mother Nature. I don't really care what you call me. I've been a silent spectator, watching species evolve, empires rise and fall. 顿时，气氛变得沉郁起来。乍看之下，一切的困扰仿佛都围绕在我身边。我皱着眉头，感受着那份压力。
Are you familiar with it? Slice the steak and place the strips on top, then garnish with the dried cranberries, pine nuts, and blue cheese. Perhaps they are driven by the delicious blend of flavors, or it could be the appealing visual presentation. At the end of the day, 我抬起头，坚定地说，身高不能决定一切。这世界在看我，我更看得到世界。
事情怎么这么多啊？明天又要开会了，做不完啊！说了你又不听，听又不懂，懂又不做，做又做错。顿时，气氛变得沉郁起来。乍看之下，一切的困扰仿佛都围绕在我身边。Suddenly, the atmosphere became gloomy. At first glance, all the troubles seemed to surround me. I frowned, feeling that pressure, but I know I can't give up, can't admit defeat. So,
对，这就是我万人敬仰的太乙真人。突然，身边一阵笑声，我看着他们，意气风发地挺直了胸。Suddenly, there was a burst of laughter beside me. I looked at them, stood up straight with high spirit, shook the slightly fleshy arms, and smiled lightly.
Ever get stuck talking to one of those customer service AIs? You know the ones, they sound like, so robotic. And those pauses. We'll get ready for something totally different. Because today we're diving into F5-TTS. It's a text-to-speech system, but like light years ahead of anything you've heard. We're talking AI that speaks, hold on to your hats, multiple languages. Oh, and understands emotions, like really gets them. And processes everything crazy fast. And this isn't just us geeking out. We've got the research right here to prove it. So whether you're like hardcore into tech or just curious about AI, this deep dive is for you. Okay, I gotta admit, when I first saw this real-time factor of 0.15, I was like, huh. But you know me, I need the why behind the what. So break it down for us. What's that actually mean? And like, why should we care?
You're spot on to hone in on that real-time factor. Because honestly, it's kind of a big deal. Basically, it means there's almost zero lag between, someone typing something and the AI actually saying it out loud. Imagine your virtual assistant just, boom, answers you instantly. Or you're having a conversation with someone who speaks a totally different language and it's just like natural and flowing, all in real time. That's the potential of F5-TTS. And the magic behind it is this, well, it's a little complicated, but it's called non-autoregressive architecture. Don't worry too much about the jargon, but it basically means the system isn't stuck processing information, bit by bit like the old TTS systems. It's more like it takes in the whole thing, the entire context all at once, and that's why it's so incredibly fast.
Okay, so no more waiting for the AI to catch up mid-sentence. No more of that. Is it still thinking? I am 100% on board with that. That's a huge win already. But wait, it gets even cooler. This thing doesn't just speak multiple languages. It's like it's juggling them. We're talking code switching, folks. Seamlessly going back and forth between languages in one sentence. That's some next level stuff. It's like something out of Star Trek, right? Tell me more.
It's pretty amazing. We're talking about an AI that understands and speaks multiple languages fluently. And it doesn't just have like pre-programmed phrases, it actually understands. And the code switching, yeah, that's really groundbreaking. Just like you said, it can switch between languages in a single sentence, just like a person would. Just think about what that means for a second. Imagine a world where you could talk to anyone, anywhere, in any language, and actually understand each other perfectly. International business deals, learning from the best teachers in the world, no matter where they are. I mean, the possibilities are honestly pretty mind-blowing.
Right. Like, are we about to enter some kind of new era of global understanding, all thanks to a super smart AI? This is seriously breaking down barriers.
Yeah.
But wait, because we're just getting started. Remember those robotic customer service voices? Yeah, F5-TTS doesn't just speak in multiple languages, it speaks with emotion. Like, it can actually sound sad or happy or even excited. How is that even possible?
It's all about how it processes language, like the nuances, you know? It's not just putting words together, it's getting the feeling behind them, the pauses, the little changes in tone. That's what makes a voice sound real, right? Like imagine listening to an audiobook with F5-TTS. You wouldn't just hear the words, you'd hear the narrator getting into it. Happy 1 minute, then like their voice would actually sound sad if the story got sad. It just adds this whole other level to it, makes it way more engaging.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. But let's be real, human language can be messy, right? I mean, I could barely send a text without messing something up. So how's this F5-TTS handle all that? The
Yes.
slang, the typos, all the ways we mess with grammar?
That's where that robustness they're talking about comes in. And they mean it. This thing is seriously robust. It can handle how we actually talk, not just perfect textbook stuff.
So like, if I accidentally type there instead of there, it'll still get it.
Yep. It figures out what you mean, even if it's not grammatically perfect. It's kind of like, think about someone who can only read a script versus someone who can just, roll with it and improvise. F5-TTS is definitely on the improv side. It gets the context.
That's huge. Especially now when we're using AI for more and more stuff like voice search. No more having to repeat yourself a million times just to get your smart speaker to understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got speed, multilingual, emotional range, and now this insane robustness. Sounds like F5-TTS is ticking all the boxes for what we've always wanted in AI voice, right? But where does this fit in the grand scheme of things? Are we about to be having casual chats with AI, like indistinguishable from talking to a real person?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's got everyone, researchers, developers, everyone kind of buzzing, but also a little, cautious. F5-TTS is a big leap forward, no doubt. But humans, we're complicated. To copy how we communicate completely, that's a whole other level.
Because it's more than just words on a page, right? It's all the little things we do without thinking. The pauses, the tone, even our expressions, all that adds to the message.
Exactly. And those are really hard to fake. But F5-TTS is showing us that we're getting closer. Like AI is starting to understand how we feel in a much deeper way.
Wow. So we're basically teaching AI to read between the lines, to get all the emotional stuff we don't actually say. It's, I don't know, kind of wild.
It is kind of wild when you think about it. It makes you wonder about, the future of how we connect with each other. Like if AI can understand us as well as our friends do, is that going to change how we interact?
It's a big question, and I don't think anyone really has the answer yet.
Yeah, it's a lot to process. On the one hand, this could be incredible, right? We could break down all these barriers between people, language, cultural differences, even just like understanding each other better. But then there's that other side, like you said. What if AI starts to blur the lines between real and, artificial? Could change everything about how we connect with each other. It's definitely a lot to unpack, and like you said, we're just starting to figure this all out. That's what makes this so fascinating, isn't it? It's like we're headed into uncharted territory, and who knows what we'll find. So we're wrapping up our deep dive on F5-TTS, and I gotta say, I've got more questions now than when we started. But they're good questions, the kind that get you thinking about the world in a whole new way. Like, if AI can really understand us, our emotions, everything, what does that even mean for the future? It's something we all need to think about because it's going to affect all of us. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll be back next time with another look at something amazing happening right now in tech. And till then, keep exploring.